So once again, good morning all students, and today we will be discussing, or we will start with a new chapter, that is chapter 14, natural resources. Remember student, I already told you many times that in your term 2, only one chapter is there for biology. That is a chapter, why do we fall ill, and biodiversity and the natural resources. These chapters are deleted for the terminal examination. Though biodiversity also I taught you, because I told you that it will be incomplete if you don't know about biodiversity, being a biology student. And natural resources also, board has said that this chapter we can use for our internal assessments, either for giving projects or any internal assignments. But this chapter won't be, or questions won't appear at the terminal examination from this chapter. So this chapter also we need to discuss, so that you have the idea, because in class 10 again you have a chapter which is based on this chapter only, that is a sustainable management of the natural resources in class 10. So before that we should have the knowledge what natural resources mean. Now, students, before going into the details of this chapter, can anyone tell me what do we mean by the term resources? What do we mean by the term resources? Okay, Vikas raised his hand. Okay, Vikas, let me just a moment. Okay, Vikas, you can unmute yourself, Vikas. Yes, Vikas, you can unmute yourself as you have raised your hand very quickly. I have given you the option, Vikas. Okay. Yes, Vikas. Okay. Some of the students. Okay, fine. Got disconnected. Okay, no problem. Okay, student, through the chat box, you give me the reply. Through the chat. Okay, very good. Already some of you have responded in the chat box. Okay. Okay, very good. Resources, yes, Pallavi, you have explained it very nicely, that resources refer to all the materials available in our environment which help us to satisfy our need. Very good. So whatever material is present in the environment which satisfy our need, that is called the resource. So if suppose our book is satisfying our need of study or our need of investigating anything, then the book become our resource. Very good. If suppose we are using any of the material for any of our work, then that material becomes our resource. Very good. So here now I'm adding one more term with the term resources, and then again I will ask you a question. If you are saying the resources are anything that satisfy our need, then what do we mean by natural resources? Resources, definitely you are saying resources are something that satisfy our need. Then what do we mean by one term is added over here, natural resources? What do we mean by the term natural resources? Okay. Very good. The resources provided by the nature. Very good. So resources we are saying are the materials which we get from the nature. Yes, that is called the natural resources. So definitely now we will sum it up in the way like this, that the resources which we get from the nature which satisfy our need are called natural resources. Very good. Very good. Correct. Okay, fine. So now let me come. Before coming to the main topic of this lesson, can you give me a few examples of the natural resources? Can you give me a few examples of the natural resources? That is the resources which are supplied from the nature. Can you give me some example of natural resources? Okay. Yes, air, water, soil, very good. Sunlight, definitely. It is from the nature side only. Very good. So student, I must say you have the previous acquired knowledge regarding the natural resources. Now we will come to the main topic of this lesson, natural resources. And now first we will discuss that what are the resources available on Earth. So the resources which are available on Earth are natural resources. Definitely we are talking about air, water, soil, minerals, and living organism. So these are the natural resources on Earth: air, water, soil, mineral, and living organism. We will also discuss that how air is the natural resource for us, how water is a natural resource for us. And in the same way, we will also discuss how soil, minerals, and the living organism are also the natural resources. First of all, before going into the discussion of the air as a natural resource, we have to understand what are the components, or we can say what are the terms like atmosphere, hydrosphere, and the lithosphere. If you will see the first diagram, here, this part, the atmosphere, that is a layer of the air around the Earth. This part becomes the biosphere. This is a very important part because it is the part, the biosphere is the part where the living organisms are living together and interacting with each other. The water component is called hydrosphere, and the outer crust of the Earth is called the lithosphere. Okay. Now, if we will see another diagrammatic view for these terms, you can very well see that this atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, these three are denoted by the circles, and they are overlapping at some or the other place with each other. Now you can very well see that the portion of the portion where the atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere, they merge, or we can say interact, becomes the biosphere. That means this biosphere requires atmosphere, lithosphere, as well as a hydrosphere. So the living organism, or the place where the living organism live, is called the biosphere. And how the biosphere is formed? By the interaction of atmosphere, which is a layer of the air around the Earth, the lithosphere, which is the outer crust of the Earth, and hydrosphere, which is the water component of the Earth, or we can say the water on Earth. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Okay, fine. Yes. Okay, very good. Very good. Yes, you have given the answer. Okay, fine. So now let me come to the next slide. Now we will talking about air. First of all, student, if I want to start with air, first of all, the major question to you all, that why do we require air? Definitely the atmosphere. Definitely, why we are dependent on the atmosphere? For what? Why we are dependent on the atmosphere? Through the chat box, give me the reply. Okay. Yes. All the students should answer this question, because this is a very simple and the basic question for you all, that what are the components, or what are the requirements of the atmosphere? Okay, let me see your answers. Okay, for survival of life on Earth, Sanskriti, ion, atmospheric provide oxygen for survival, oxygen and sunlight. Okay, oxygen for our survival, atmosphere protection, life on Earth by shielding it from incoming ultraviolet ray. Okay, for breathing. Okay, yes, definitely you are having the correct knowledge. I should say that definitely for the main thing which comes in our mind is for the respiration. So, and what is an atmosphere? The air, it is a mixture of the gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other gases. During respiration, the living organism use O2. And what is the purpose of this O2? Definitely why we inspire air. We inspire air so that the glucose present in the body should be broken down, and from there the energy is released. Students, we have done the chapter cell also. Can you say me which cell organelle is responsible for the production of the energy, or we can say which cell organelle is called the energy, which molecule is called the energy currency of the cell, and which cell organelle is responsible for the production of the energy? Yes, through the chat box. Very good. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. Yes, if we talk, if we go to the organelle responsible for the production of the energy, definitely the mitochondria, because it is called the powerhouse of the cell. Here, oxidation of the food material occurs and the release of the energy in the form of ATP. And this ATP is the energy currency of the cell. Very good. So during respiration, the living organism use oxygen to break down glucose and get energy. So here, one of the use of the air as a, we can say, important component is achieved. Next, this results in the release of carbon dioxide. Burning of fuels also use oxygen and release carbon dioxide. So this results in the release of CO2 during the process where the food is being oxidized. We all know CO2 is evolved as an end product also. So here CO2 is released out. That means during the respiration, when oxygen is required, and at the end product, we can say the energy, CO2, and even water also comes out in this reaction. So the carbon dioxide is being eliminated out. Okay, carbon dioxide is being eliminated out. Now, burning of the fuels also use oxygen and release carbon dioxide. During photosynthesis, green plants convert carbon dioxide into glucose in the presence of sunlight. So if you are talking about ourselves, or if you are talking about one physiological process, that is respiration, in respiration, O2 is used up and CO2 is given out. And the another very important mechanism, that is a photosynthesis, which is a process by which the green plant prepare their food with the help of carbon dioxide, sunlight, chlorophyll, and water. And in this process, what is released? Oxygen is released. So definitely, we can say these processes help to maintain the oxygen carbon dioxide balance in the nature. Okay, you can see in this image also that how from the it is given that from the trees we can say O2 is being liberated out during the process of the photosynthesis, and this O2 is being used up by the respiration of, suppose the animal is given over here. So hence we can say the balance between the oxygen and the carbon dioxide is being maintained in the nature with the help of this very important physiological process, that is respiration and photosynthesis. Is it clear to all of you? Is this concept of photosynthesis and respiration merged with the O2 and CO2 cycle in the nature is clear to you all? Okay, very good. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Now we will see that how this atmosphere, first we have studied that what are the components and how these components were useful to us. And now we will see that how do this atmosphere helps in climatic control. Student, this all of you, you have this knowledge from your junior classes also. Can you share your views that how do the atmosphere act as a, we can say temperature or climatic control this agent? Yes, here, okay. Yes, here I would like to unmute some of the students here. Okay, there I can see. Yes, Vinayak. Vinayak, you can unmute yourself, Vinayak. I've given you the option to unmute yourself, Vinayak.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vinayak, can you tell me how this atmosphere works for the climatic control?
Atmosphere play an important role to control the climate.
How?
Yeah, as we yeah, sir.
How does the atmosphere help in the climatic control? Does it form any layer?
Ozone layer.
Definitely, that ozone we are going to discuss, but normally if we are seeing that atmosphere forms, how it act as a blanket, no? It act as a blanket, and definitely air is a bad conductor of heat. So it prevents sudden increase in the temperature. Got it? Okay, Vinayak, you can mute yourself. Okay, Vinayak, you can mute yourself. Huh? So we will be how does the atmosphere act as an we can say climatic control agent? Anyone raise your hand so that I can unmute yourself. You, anyone, anyone who wants to answer this question, that how the atmosphere helps. Okay, Agrata, very good. Agrata raised her hand. Okay, let me give the option to Agrata to unmute herself. Okay, Agrata, you can unmute yourself, Agrata. I've given you the option. Yes, Agrata. How does the atmosphere helps in the climatic control? Okay, Agrata, once again, I am giving you the option. I think you got disconnected. Okay, Agrata, again, you can unmute yourself. Agrata, you can unmute yourself. I think some net issue from your side. Okay. Yes, one more student raised hand. Pallavi. Okay, Pallavi. Okay, Pallavi, you can unmute yourself, Pallavi. How
Yes,
does
sir.
the atmosphere helps in the climatic control?
Atmosphere play an important role in climate control as air is the bad conductor of the he- heat and it helps to maintain the earth's temperature and by preventing the sudden increase in temperature during daytime and help them to cool down at night slowly.
Very good explanation, Pallavi. Very good. You can mute yourself. Okay. Okay, now, okay. Acha, again, Vinayak. Okay, Vinayak wants to say, okay, Vinayak, let me give you the option. Okay, Vinayak, you can unmute yourself, Vinayak, if you want to re-answer.
Sir, atmosphere control the control climate. I think this is by land breeze and sea breeze.
Ha. Yes. Very good.
Yes,
Yes. Okay,
during the
okay.
day, land is heated,
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Okay,
and the
Vinayak.
hot air rises.
Yes. Okay, now we will, okay, Vinayak, you can mute yourself, and now we will conclude from the discussion that what Pallavi and Vinayak shared with us. Definitely, the atmosphere covers the earth like a blanket. And since we know that air is a bad conductor of heat, it prevents a sudden increase in temperature during the day and also slows down the escape of heat during the night because it acts as a protective shield over it, and it keeps the average temperature of the earth fairly steady during the day and throughout the year. But how does this is also controlled, and when we will be saying that this movement of the air, which is the wind, definitely decides that how the air will flow during the daytime and during the night time. Now see, movement of the air. When the air gets heated, it rises up and produces low pressure. So definitely the area where the air will get heated up more, that area will form the area of the low pressure, and cool air moves into to take its place. So the movement of the air causes the wind. This is very important because as we know that suppose during the summer season, you must have noticed that all of a sudden we say that the wind has started in any area, or the storm has started in any area, but this storm or the wind movement does not we can say occur at very low intensity during the other season. So this is because of the creation of the high pressure zone and the low pressure zone. So when the air gets heated up, it rises, and that area becomes the area of low pressure, and as a result into that area the movement of the air from the region of the high pressure toward the region of the low pressure takes place. So the movement of the air causes the wind in that very area, and as more low pressure will be created or high pressure will be more, so the movement of the wind will be intensified. Okay, now during the day the land get heated faster than the sea, so the hot air above the land rises up and cool air from the sea move toward the land. So during the daytime, what we will say that the movement of the air is from sea to land or land to sea. Who wants to answer this question? As I said that during the day, the land gets heated faster than the sea, and the hot air above the land rises up and cool air from the sea move towards the land. So during the daytime, land to sea or sea to land? Very good, Pallavi. Very quick answer. Very quick answer. Yes, very quick answer. Yes, Vinayak, through the chat box, you give the reply through the chat box because all the students have, yes, I can see the answer. But many of you have given the wrong answer also. I think you are getting confused a bit. I repeat this sentence that during the day, the land get heated faster than sea. So which part will be heated up? Land will be heated up faster than the sea. Hot air from the land rises up and cool air from the sea move towards the land. So from where to where? So from where to where it will move during the daytime? Very good. During the daytime, yes, correct. Correct. Yes. Let me see all sea to land. Very good. Sea to land. Correct. And during the night time, reverse is happening. The sea cools down slowly than the land. So the hot air above the sea rises up and cool air from the land move toward the sea. So during night, from where to where the movement of the air will, or we can say wind movement will be there? Yes, during night, land to sea. Very good. Correct. Correct. Yes. So this is depicted in this diagram. Also, you can see that during the day, the blue color is being indicated. 1 minute. The blue color is indicated with the air from the sea, and the red color is indicating the warm air from the land. So from the sea towards the land during the daytime, the movement of the air is there. That means from the region of the high pressure toward the region of the low pressure. But during the nighttime, it is reversed from land towards the sea. That means from the region of the high pressure toward the region of the low pressure. Yes. Is it clear to all the students regarding the movement and how the movement of the wind is being regulated by the degree of, we can say, the temperature? Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Okay, yes, all of you have said it's clear to all of you. Okay. Now, students, after this, we will come to the water cycle. After this, we will come to the water cycle. Now, what happens in the water cycle? We all have the idea. 1 minute. Before going into the discussion of the rain and how the rain is formed, this I think from your previous, or you can say from your junior classes, you are knowing this. Let anyone who can explain that how rain is formed, or the part of the water cycle, how does it is occurring? Can anyone say? Okay, very quick. Then I should give the first come first. Okay. Yes, Pallavi. Pallavi, you can unmute yourself. You have raised your hand very quickly. Okay, Pallavi. Yes, Pallavi.
Yes, sir. During daytime, the seawater get heated up and evaporation is process happen. And during evaporation, water vapor get rises up and form the cloud. This process is called condensation. And after condensation, when they become big and large, they fall in the form of rain, and that is called precipitation. In this way, water cycle is happen again and again.
Rain is formed. Very good, Pallavi. Very well explained in a brief way. So definitely, student, this as what you are knowing from your previous, or we can say the junior classes, that when the water bodies are heated during the day, large amount of the water evaporate and rises up. And some water vapor also get into the atmosphere due to the biological activity like transpiration. Here one term is being added over here, that not only the water from which get heated up from the water body evaporates and forms a cloud. Water is being also added from some biological activity like transpiration. Now, student, can you tell me what do we mean by transpiration? We did this in the chapter tissue. What is transpiration? Through the chat box, you give me the reply. Very good. Through the chat box. Yes, correct. Very good. Loss of water in the form of water vapor from the leaves of the plant. And if you can remember, when we were discussing, or we have discussed about transpiration, we also discussed some of its effect. One effect was the cooling effect, and one more effect was that it was taking part in the water cycle. So definitely I can link that class with this class, that not only the water which is getting heated up from the water bodies evaporates and form the cloud, it is also the water from some biological activity like the transpiration. The water vapor is being added into the atmosphere. Now, as this water vapor rises, it cools and condenses to form tiny droplets of the water. And this appear as a cloud. Definitely, this process is called condensation. And when the tiny droplets of the water join together to form bigger drops of water, they fall as rain, snow, or hail. So this is the process of, or we can say that how the rain is being formed in the nature. and how does the water, this is a contributory, or we can say the water cycle. Only here one biological aspect also we are adding, that is a transpiration. So during the daytime, when the water bodies are heated up, a large amount of the water evaporates, and this water vapor, when goes into the atmosphere, cool and condense to form tiny droplets, and when the tiny droplet combines to form a bigger drops, they fall as rain or snow or hail. Okay, is it clear to all that how the rain is occurring? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. Now, after this, we will be discussing the last part of we can say the last part of the natural resource, the air, that is air pollution. So this student awareness based topic, which you are having knowledge from your previous classes also. If we want to define air pollution, how can we define air pollution? Tell me, give me quick answer through the chat box. If we want to define air pollution, what will be our answer? Okay, okay. Yes, once, okay, raised her hand. Okay, let me give the option. 1 minute. Okay, unmute yourself. Yes, I've given the option. Hand was raised by, the name was given Manish Kumar. I've given you the option to unmute yourself. Got disconnected, I think. Okay, yes. Yes, Manish Kumar. Okay, I think got disconnected. Yes, I've given you the option to unmute yourself. I've given you the option to, as you raised your hand, I've given you the option to unmute yourself. Okay. Who wants to answer? Okay, okay, I'm seeing the chat box because all the students have given the answer. Very good. The contamination of the air through factory and industries, contamination of the air by harmful gases, then contamination of the air definitely from the harmful substances, increase in the amount of the air pollutants, presence of the harmful substances. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. So definitely, student, the increase in the content, or we can say undesirable material in the air, that is a air pollution. Fossil fuel like coal and petroleum contain small amount of the nitrogen and sulfur. And when these burn, it releases oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, and they dissolve in rain and causes acid rain. Burning of the fossil fuel also release unburned carbon particles, which reduces visibility. And so during the cold weather, along with the condensed water, it forms smog. This is very important, student, because maximum time in the metros, we are having this, we are witnessing this situation. You must have seen that during the early winter and during now also, when the news comes regarding the pollution of Delhi, it is said that the whole Delhi is being occupied by smog. So what is a smog? Smoke plus fog, that means the smog. This is very important. And regular breathing air contain these harmful substances that causes definitely the problems like allergies, cancers, heart disease, etc. So these are some of the problems, because first of all, we have to say that the burning of the fossil fuel produces the oxides of carbon, which is also a problem. And coal and petroleum also contain nitrogen and sulfur. And when this burn, they produces oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, and which causes the acid rain. So these were the aspects which we discussed under the topic natural resources under the air, that how does the movement of the wing is occurring, how does the air control the climate, how air pollution arises, and how does the rain occurs. These were the points which we discussed in our today's class. Okay, so anyone having any doubt in today's any of the topic, because in our next class we will be continuing with water as a resource. Anyone having any doubt in today's topic? Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Yes. Yes, Vinayak. Smoke plus fog. Okay, that makes our smog. Okay. Okay, students. Okay. Okay, student, write down today's assignment. Define the term smog. Define the term smog. Next question, what is acid rain? Okay, what is acid rain? Okay, thank you students for today's class.